All right, hello again, everybody. This is the Fantasy Sports Boss. Welcome to the Fantasy Sports Boss Fantasy Football Podcast. It is Sunday, August 13th, 2023. I want to go over the performances yesterday, Saturday, in terms of fantasy relevant performances and what we could take out of it. And certainly it's still early in the preseason, but there were some decent performances worth talking about. Also wanted to go in a little bit on Derrick Henry today for a number of reasons, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and also the notification and the like button. So, let's get to the scores first from yesterday's game. And the New York Jets, so we'll start with the New York Jets. So they shut out the Carolina Panthers 27-0. And here's a couple of things that stood out about this game. One, the Jets' defensive line is insane. It absolutely is insane. Keenan Williams didn't even play. Their top four guys didn't play, but they racked up, I believe, 5 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. Bryce Young was running for his life, as was Matt Corral. Corral went down 4 times. Young went down once. If you're obviously leagues that have a defense, the Jets will be right in the top 3 consideration with the San Francisco 49ers and maybe the Buffalo Bills. A truly ferocious defense. And then you don't even take into account the fact that they have Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed locking down the passing game. And now, they drafted Will McDonald to join Keenan Williams and all these other insane pass rushers that they've gotten over the last couple of years. This is going to be a really productive defense in terms of fantasy football and whatnot. Now Aaron Rodgers didn't play, but the real key for the Jets in this game too was how the running backs were going to do, because they've been kicking the tires in Dalvin Cook. Obviously, they brought him in for a workout. They've been mentioned with Ezekiel Elliott in the past as well. And so with Breece Hall, still not off PUP and may not be ready now for week 1. That was like the latest whispers that were coming out of Jets camp this past week. It was really imperative for Michael Carter and the rookie Israel Abanikanda to show that they could hold the fort and really, keep the Jets from having to sign a Dalvin Cook. Well, they answered the bell yesterday. So the rookie from Pittsburgh, Abanikanda, 12 carries for 56 yards, 4.7 a pop, 3 catches for 31 yards. That's a very fantasy friendly performance. And this kid, even though he was a mid-round draft pick, the speed is impressive. He's got really good acceleration, and obviously he could catch the football as he showed. So there's some fantasy appeal here as a handcuff. Michael Carter is still there, and Carter 4 carries for 19 yards, which is 4.8 a carry, which is not bad. And he caught 2 passes for 34 yards. And Carter as a rookie was good. Took a step back last season, but the Jets, this might have now permanently convinced the front office and Robert Saleh that they don't need to sign Dalvin Cook. And I don't think they're going to sign him. Breece Hall, they can maybe feel more comfortable about bringing him along slowly. And honestly now, for somebody like myself who's been interested in Breece Hall going back to May, I'm out on him now, unless it's really, really cheap. In the 3rd round, the fact that he may not even be ready for week 1, not have a full workload until October, I'm leery on Breece Hall. And of course, the ethos of a running back coming back from a torn ACL, that's there as well. But yeah, it was a good performance by those 2 running backs for sure. As far as the Panthers were concerned, really nobody. Bryce Young was 4 for 6, 21 yards. Was under duress the whole time. Chuba Hubbard 4 carries for 9 yards. This is going to be the Miles Sanders show. Sanders has a minor groin injury, nothing major. He didn't play in this game. But I think he's going to be just fine. But the biggest takeaways is the performances by the running backs for the Jets and that defense, which is just beyond impressive. Now, break up the Chicago Bears offense. Holy crap, was this the eye-opening. I know it's preseason. You don't want to get crazy. But, man, break up this Bears offense. Holy cow, they were good. Justin Fields, 3 for 3, 129 yards, 2 scores. DJ Moore, his only catch went for 62 yards. Khalil Herbert, he took a dump off and went 56 yards for a score. Herbert also ran 4 times for 15 yards. So really impressive performance by both of these guys. And, a couple of things here. I I've already talked to you about how I feel about Justin Fields. As somebody who owned him in both of my leagues last season, I said he is the ride to the hills, quarterback this season. He's my pick outside of the top three of Hurts, Allen and Mahomes. Fields is my pick as the guy who could finish quarterback one, because he just needs a moderate improvement in his passing game to go with his 1,000 yard running ability to really burst the ceiling of what he can do fantasy wise. And listen, DJ Moore is a game breaker. We know that. He's been undermined by poor quarterback play since he started. Khalil Herbert, always intriguing, has done the job filling in for David Montgomery over the last couple of years, but they brought in Donta Foreman. You got to think Foreman's going to be the goal line back. And they have Ruscon Johnson, who is a complete back, overshadowed in college by his teammate, Bijan Robinson, but he's very capable himself, had good numbers on a per touch basis in college, proved that he could run it, proved that he could catch it, 12 carries for 44 yards yesterday, caught 3 passes for 2 yards. Donta Foreman was 3 carries for 9 yards. Khalil Herbert 4 for 15, like I said. So this offense is going to be something to watch. It's so far so good, and it is preseason. Let's just face it. Malik Wilson, Will Levis both threw an interception. Tajay Spears. We know about his ACL injuries in college. 6 carries for 32 yards, 5.3 a carry. I like this kid. He caught 1 pass for 4 yards. Derrick Henry, obviously, is going to be the bell cow back, but I think Spears is worth a handcuff. Maybe not a priority handcuff, but maybe that next level. Zach Charbonnet from Seattle is the priority handcuff, no doubt about it. But I think Spears can be somebody that can really help fantasy-wise if something were to happen to Derrick Henry. And I'll talk about Henry in a little bit. All right, so Anthony Richardson got his first taste of action against the Buffalo Bills. Mixed bag, 7 of 12, 67 yards. He threw an interception, ran twice for 7 yards, so he didn't show off the wheels, really. He did throw the pick. There was some scattershot passes, also threw a nice dart to Alec Pierce that should have been hauled in. So listen, it's going to be rough at times. He's only had 13 starts in college. So there are mechanical issues that need to be cleaned up. There's no doubt about it. So, we need to have patience here. That's why you draft him in a single quarterback league as a backup, a high upside backup. Don't draft Jared Goff to be your backup. Draft an upside guy like Anthony Richardson, or even Geno Smith, who's going at quarterback 15 despite a top 5 finish last season, and they just brought in the best wide receiver in the draft to go with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I don't understand any of that. But yeah, Richardson, it was an okay debut. Gardner Minshew was perfect, 6 for 6 for 72 yards. Josh Allen did not play in this game. James Cook, 4 carries for 20 yards. Latavius Murray, 5 for 18. Cook scored a rushing touchdown. As far as James Cook is concerned, I've been butting heads with some people online about this. There's a lot of hype for James Cook, and I get it. He is an explosive runner on a per touch basis. But if his last name wasn't Cook, I don't think that he would be getting the hype that he's getting now. Clearly a talented guy, good speed, very good speed, can catch the football. But they brought in Latavius Murray, they brought in Damian Harris, who's obviously injured right now, for a reason, because they want a power back around the goal line so they don't subject their quarterback, Josh Allen, to big hits on keepers around the goal line, as he runs it in himself. So, James Cook, I don't think that's going to be his game. So can he be a Jahmyr Gibbs light in this offense? Yes, he definitely could be. Catch 50 passes, sure. In PPR leagues, he's right on that running back 2-3 mark. No doubt about it. There is upside, only in his second year, and he's got the speed. He could take it to the house anytime he touches the football. So there's something to be said for that. The price, I'm not sure where he is right now in terms of ADP, but I'm sure it's going up. Let me look that up right now. But I'm not fully on board yet with James Cook in terms of, being a guy we just have to have. I'm just not there yet. This still is a passing offense, no doubt about it. And I think, with Latavius Murray, and if Damian Harris's injury is not serious, then I think that there's still a lot of competition there for touches, especially around the goal line. All right, so in PPR leagues right now, James Cook is... All right, so James Cook right now is running back 26. Oh, no, that's Dalvin Cook. Excuse me. All right, let me see here. James Cook. Right now, James Cook is running back 30. He's going 80th overall. So, you know what? What is that, the 7th round? That's not awful. I prefer him in the 8th round. You know, for me, it's always been 8th round and on is where I want to start taking the upside guys. You know, the first 7 rounds, I want to fill out my 2 running backs, my 3 wide receivers, my tight end, and maybe the flex guy or a quarterback. The 8th round is when I want to start looking for those upside guys. So he's kind of like right in that zone in terms of James Cook. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars 28-23 over the Dallas Cowboys. So, you know, key players really took a seat in this one. Trevor Lawrence barely played, but he was 5 for 6. Did throw a touchdown pass, also threw a pick on his one misfire there. Christian Kirk scored 2 catches for 12 yards. Calvin Ridley 2 catches for 21 yards. So they all, you know, the main guys got involved, at least for the Jaguars. Tank Bigsby. How about this, guys? You know, I've been getting beat up about my Tank Bigsby hype. 9 carries for 52 yards. That's 5.8 a carry. All right. Travis Etienne, 5 for 22. Not bad. All right. Let me see. I don't think either one of them caught a pass. No, they didn't. The Jaguars were throwing it all over the place. And that's the thing, too. So Nathan Rohr came in through 17 passes. C.J. Beathard through 13. Lawrence through 6. This is a passing offense all the way. So you want Ridley. Kirk is coming cheaper than he should. You want the pieces in this offense. Evan Engram, I'm not in love with just because of the fact there's a lot of competition. And I think you're buying high on him. And he's a guy who's been hurt in the past. But listen, it was impressive. It was impressive. Deuce Vaughn, 8 carries for 50 yards and a score for Dallas. So, you know, Deuce Vaughn, he's very small, but he's got that scat back ability. Can he be the primary backup? Are they going to bring in Ezekiel Elliott? We just want to see. I just want him to end up somewhere so we can get clarity here, because Tony Pollard's value still sits in the is at the mercy of what's going to happen there in terms of where Pollard's ceiling is going to be. All right, next, Los Angeles Chargers 34, Rams 17. God, the Rams are going to be so bad this year. And they're just going to be so bad. You talk about a horrible offensive line. It's the Rams. Key pieces there. It's going to get ugly for sure. Let's see. Justin Herbert didn't play. Neither did Matthew Stafford. No reason to get these guys injured. Josh Kelly, 9 for 54 running the ball. Yeah, really nothing worth talking about there. No, they didn't really have anybody worth mentioning in terms of fantasy football in this one. And finally, the Baltimore Ravens, 20-19. Isaiah Likely got dinged up in this one, as is Tyler Huntley. The Eagles' defense is really, really good. You know, the Eagles, the Jets, the 49ers, those are the top 3 for sure. Rashad Penny, 9 carries for 34 yards, not great. DeAndre Swift, 2 for 24, much better, even though it was only 2 carries. You know, neither guy contributed in the passing game. So, yeah, it was really just the backups that got the work there. You know, in terms of, but yeah, so Tank Bigsby, that's the big one for me. Tank Bigsby had a really good game. So I already told you how I'm out on Breece Hall as one of my original my guys. Travis Etienne is now coming off my draft list as well, because I think Tank Bigsby is just too good to keep down. Now, in terms of the running backs who are still currently my guys, I love Tony Pollard. If I can get him in the 2nd round, I'm in on him. Ramondre Stevenson, I'm also, you know, cooling on him because you keep hearing the Dalvin Cook rumors to New England. If that happens, it's going to really sabotage Stevenson's value. I'm still in on Jahmyr Gibbs. Still love Aaron Jones. Still like Miles Sanders. Still like Rachaad White. Still like James Conner. These are all the guys, you know, I'm coming around on Alexander Mattison. You know, DeAndre Swift, if the price is right. I like David Montgomery. So these are the guys I still like. Cam Akers, if the price is right, even though I've been scared of him in the past. All right, so let's go to Derrick Henry. So right now he's running back 6, 16 overall. Listen, I've been really hammering Derrick Henry. In one of my 2 leagues, 10-team league, I picked second. Justin Jefferson was my first pick. I'm starting to wonder, we're almost at the end of round 1, and I'm starting to wonder if Derrick Henry drops to me in the second round, which I don't think he will, but at that point, do you take him? And that goes against everything I've been saying, aging running backs, guys who don't catch the ball. That is Derrick Henry. But in my quest to really have touchdown-heavy guys, and me calling on Breece Hall and Travis Etienne, who are going in that early 3rd round territory, does Henry start to make sense there at the end of round 2? Maybe. Listen, the numbers are still phenomenal, but he has dropped off 4.3 and 4.4 average the last 2 years after being 5.1 and 5.4 from 2019 to 20. The touchdown numbers are still immense. But here's the thing that's interesting, all right? Looking ahead to the fantasy football playoffs, and this is unbelievable. And this is what really has me intrigued now with Derrick Henry. I'm just pulling it up right now. So the Tennessee Titans playoff schedule is an absolute goldmine for Derrick Henry in terms of matchups. Henry has the Houston Texans 2 of the 3 fantasy playoff matchups. 2 of the 3. He's got the Houston in the wild card round at home, then home against Seattle, which they don't have the best run stopping unit, and then at Houston for the fantasy football championship. So they're going to be, hopefully they should be beating Houston handily in both of those games. That'll be a positive game script for Henry when the stakes are the highest. And then Seattle, Seattle's good. But this Tennessee team is decent as well. And I think they're kind of in the same tier. So that is an unbelievably attractive schedule for Derrick Henry. And overall, the Tennessee schedule is really, really attractive. They have the Chargers, not a great defense. They have the Colts, again, not a great defense. Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Indianapolis again, obviously. They played them twice. So this is a really attractive schedule for Derrick Henry. So in terms of that league that I was telling you about, so we're doing the slow draft. It's been all wide receivers. The first pick was Christian McCaffrey, and then I took Justin Jefferson second. Jamar Chase went third. Cooper Kupp went fourth. Fifth was Tyreek Hill. Sixth was Austin Eckler. So Eckler slipped a little bit because everybody wants wide receivers. The 7th pick was A.J. Brown, and he was an Eagles fan. The 8th pick was Stephon Diggs, and the 9th pick was Travis Kelce. So now we're waiting on pick 10. So, the guy who I was talking to was in that picks 10 and, 11 with the turn. He was all about wide receivers. He wanted wide receivers. He wanted Diggs. He wanted A.J. Brown. He was going to take Kelce. All those guys are gone. So now he might have to pivot to running back. Saquon Barkley is still there. He likes, Nick Chubb as well. And that's what you have to do when you're on the end. If you're on that turn, you have to react. So there's probably going to be a running back run in round 2. So he's seeing that. So he might have to get his 2 running backs now. You have to be more proactive when you're on the end as opposed to being in the middle, where you can kind of go with the flow of the draft. So, but anyway, so last thing, guys, before I jump off here, if you haven't already emailed me, if you want to get into the Fantasy Sports Boss Survivor Fantasy Football League, I posted a lot about that yesterday in yesterday's podcast. Make sure you email me. I did get some emails. I'm gonna send out the invites later on today. So if you haven't gotten an invite and you sent me an email, don't despair. It's coming. Just haven't gotten around to it. 16-team league. The lowest scoring team is eliminated each week. The winner will get a free fantasy draft guide from me next season. It's just for fun. We're gonna do an auto draft. You rank your players, auto draft, no money involved, and we'll do it that way. Again, as I said in the video yesterday, don't join if you're not going to cooperate, meaning if your team is eliminated, you change your team name from whatever it is to the star symbol all the way across so we all know which teams are out and the players will get benched and we just go from there. Last team standing wins. It's a lot of fun. Not sure if you ever did a Survivor Fantasy Football League before. It's a shallower league as well, only 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, a quarterback, a flex, and a kicker. Because obviously you're going very deep. You're going 200 players into the the player pool. So, but anyway, so send me an email, rangerfan28@yahoo.com, rangerfan28@yahoo.com if you want to be in the league. First come, first serve. So make sure you send me that email. All right, guys, more videos on the way. We will chat soon.